This is Super Yacht News. In association with Go Earth, navigating boat buyers to better deals.
A fire early Friday morning in Sunny Isles Beach, Florida left several boats destroyed, according to local officials. Videos captured the dramatic scene as emergency crews responded to the blaze, which broke out around 5:15 a.m. local time near Northeast 163rd Street and Collins Avenue. The fire erupted behind the condominiums of 400 Sunny Isles Boulevard. When Miami-Dade Fire Rescue arrived, they found a vessel fully engulfed in flames on a dock close to apartment units. The fire had already spread to several nearby boats. Footage showed a yacht on the water engulfed in intense flames, with thick plumes of smoke rising into the sky. Aerial views revealed multiple docked boats also on fire. As a precaution, nearby areas were evacuated. The firefighters battled the flames from both land and water using water and foam to contain the blaze. Officials later confirmed that 8 vessels were significantly damaged, 6 vessels were completely destroyed, along with 2 personal watercraft. There were more than 25 fire engines, along with City of Miami Fire Rescue, the US Coast Guard, and Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission all responded to the scene. The blaze was under control about 2 hours after first responders arrived, around 7:30 a.m. In Miami-Dade Fire Rescue's Andy Alvarez said, "Do know that obviously vessels are typically made out of fiberglass, which is highly combustible, and it's quickly spread to the adjacent vessels. We don't know which vessel was the origin vessel. We don't have that information yet. Obviously, this is very early on in the game. It's going to be a very long, drawn-out investigation. We have fire investigations on scene." Very fortunately, there were no injuries reported.
All right, we'll move on to our next story. We've got a quick update on the salvage operation. There's not an awful lot to report right now. No changes really on the surface. Obviously, most of the work is going on underneath the water. You know, a bit like a swan moving around. Doesn't appear to be an awful lot going on the surface. We can see cranes moving things around, lowering things into the water, but that's about it really. Like I said, the last update from TMC Marine was that they were working on removing the mast and the rigging before they move on to right the vessel. Now, we don't know, since that update that they sent us last week, we don't know where they are along that process. They said that the lifting operation should start in the second half of June. It's currently the 9th of June. So I would say that in the next week, we should start to see more movement. Now, we did pay a visit to Termini Amerise, which is down the coast, southeast from here. They mentioned in that update that they'd built a cradle, which they're going to place the yacht on. So we went down to film it. As you can see from the aerial footage here that we took on the weekend. Now, the salvage team built this cradle on the dockside, on the quayside, which originally we thought they were going to put it into some building, but when we first went down there, we couldn't see any building that we thought would be big enough to take the hull. So what they've done is they built this cradle. After they've raised the hull and pumped out all the water, and they're going to tow it to Termini Amerise, they're going to lift it out the water and place it on that cradle. Now, I would imagine, now this is just speculation because I don't know, but I would imagine after that they will build a scaffolding frame around the vessel, and then they will cover it in a canvas, a bit like what they do when they're doing paint jobs on yachts. And that will do a couple of things. First of all, it will weather seal the hull so they can start the investigation, and it will also mean that they've got privacy to conduct those investigations without prying eyes. So that's probably what they'll do once they get it down there. Obviously, we will be covering that portion of the salvage. Once it goes into the investigation, they put that cover over it, which I assume, like I said, it's speculation, but I would imagine that's what they'll do. Then obviously we'll have to wait for the findings of that investigation. But that's just a quick update on the salvage operation. All right, we'll move on. We've got a few updates, a few movements of yachts that have been, that haven't moved for quite some time. We mentioned recently Le Grand Bleu left Puerto Rico and headed to Tampa, where she's now in a shipyard, we believe. That vessel hadn't moved since 2022. because of sanctions against the owner, Eugene Schvidler, we assume, because he was never sanctioned in the US, but he was sanctioned in other parts of the world. And the boat just sat in Puerto Rico for since, like I said, since 2022. We've also reported a couple of days ago, last week, I think it was Friday, that Eclipse had changed flag states from Bermuda to the Cook Islands. Roman Abramovich had all of his vessels registered with Bermuda until the sanctions. He had a support vessel called Garçon and a smaller yacht called Halo, both re-registered to the Cook Islands in 2023 or 23, when they were in Antigua, just not long after the sanctions started. So it was probably 2022. They headed over to Göcek in Turkey, which they still are with Eclipse. Eclipse recently changed to the Cook Islands as well, so it's followed suit. Now, in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, we've seen that motor yacht Solaris, which is another massive yacht that Roman Abramovich owns, has been laid up in Göcek in Turkey since 2023. And that vessel's AIS has popped back up online. I'll put a screen grab on screen. You can see it says that the vessel's last notification on AIS was the 8th of the 5th, 2023. So the 8th of May, 2023. And that's the first time she's been on AIS since. She's been laid up there in Göcek. Now, why is it popped back up online right now? We're not sure exactly, but the vessel's been mothballed effectively. It's probably had a reduced crew. They've shut down all the systems they don't need. The vessel's not going anywhere. But, you know, this sort of suggests that the vessel has been recrewed and everything's been woken back up, tested and stuff like that. We saw this with Le Grand Bleu just before she left Puerto Rico. So that's another vessel that is currently, like I said, popping back up on AIS. Now, another vessel that is also doing the same, just popped back up yesterday, is Madame Goo, which is out in Dubai. That vessel left Europe in 2022, just before all the sanctions started, and headed to Dubai. She's been there ever since. Also laid up, had big generators on the quayside, and the vessel's been connected to those generators, and the vessel's been, like I said, mothballed. All of the signs have been covered up to the name of the vessels. We've got some photographs here that somebody just sent us from there maybe a week ago, and you can see that the names are all covered, and the person actually sent them in and said unknown yacht or abandoned yacht in Dubai or something like that. So this is Andre Scotch's vessel, and yeah, this vessel's popped up on AIS as well. And if we look at the AIS data here, the last time it was on AIS was the 6th of March 2022. So these vessels they all seem to be getting woken out of their slumber. I suspect, or I expect, that they'll start to move pretty shortly. These vessels have been, mothballed for all that time, so it does suggest that they're going to start moving soon, doesn't it? I also suggest that, with the changes in the US government, the way they disbanded the klepto capture task force, and they stopped chasing after the sanctioned Russians, it seems to suggest that is the reason why these vessels are starting to pop back up. Like I said, I don't have anything to connect the dots. I'm just sort of guessing that's possibly what it is. Anyway, guys, I think I'll leave it there. That's all we've got for you today. Be sure to check back with us later this week for more updates on the salvage operation and other things. I think we're going to start the live feed again soon, as well as we are expecting things to start picking up pace. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/eSysman. We're posting lots of videos on there. We posted one for the trip down to Termini Mersey on the weekend. Equipment that they didn't already have on site from different parts of the world. So there we go. There it is. There's a tug. That's the tug that we see occasionally. We're posting pretty much daily there now as well. So check it out, patreon.com/eSysman. If you've got anything to send to us, photos, videos, information, all the information is down here in the ticker. You can send the photos and videos to the address there. We transfer. You do not need an account. You just click on that link. It's in the description as well. Click on the link and send the stuff to us. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for future notifications. We just hit 325,000 subscribers. Would be nice to get to 400,000 this year, wouldn't it? All right, guys, if you watch regularly and you're not a subscriber, just hit that bell. It's free. So, you know, and if you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. All right, guys. Bye-bye.